You're watching WANE 15's First at 5, live in your hometown.
Good evening. We are in Berne tonight, live in your hometown. Swiss Days is starting today, opening ceremonies in a little less than a half an hour. But it is also a 15 Fury alert day today for that high heat and humidity. That is why we did not bring our entire newscast down here. My photographer and I are staying cool. We've got a lot of ice water. We have some wet washcloths to keep us cool, but we will still bring you special live coverage for Berne Swiss Days ahead in the newscast.
Yes, it takes more than a dozen people behind the scenes to bring our entire newscast out live on location, which is why we scaled back today for everybody's safety. As Nicholas has declared today a 15 Fury alert day, not hard to figure out why when you step outside.
Right, it's all that heat and humidity. We've been talking all week long about it feeling like 105 today, and that's exactly what has panned out. It's feeling like 103 in Fort Wayne. We're getting a feels like temperature of 110 in Columbia City, feels like 102 in Defiance, feels like 103 in Auburn. So dangerous to be outside for long stretches of time. That's why Alyssa's going to be coming in and out of our program tonight and in and out of the buildings down there in Berne so she can keep cool. So 93, our actual air temperature now in Fort Wayne. Winds breezy from the south-southwest at 15 miles per hour, pumping in all that heat and humidity. We've been as high as 95. That's the highest temperature we've had here in 2025 so far. Now, there is a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock tonight for Warsaw, Kendallville, LaGrange, and Angola. We have a line of thunderstorms heading our way that's moving through Chicago as we speak. And so we're going to watch this and see if it makes it into our area. If it does, those spots to the north and northwest of Fort Wayne have the highest potential at getting the gustiest storms and storms that could provide some torrential downpours. I'll have more on that and a continuation of this very humid weather in your forecast later in the show. Yeah, one word to describe the weather today might be oppressive, and it may not be just because of the weather pattern, also corn. WANE 15's Marcus Truccio explains.
A lot of you at home may have never even heard of corn sweat, and most of you that have may have not even heard it until just the last few weeks. But what exactly is corn sweat, and how does it affect our weather, especially on days like today? What is sometimes called corn sweat is more formally called evapotranspiration, and it happens to all plants, not just corn.
We're all familiar with precipitation, which is rain falling from the sky. So evapotranspiration, we're kind of looking at the opposite of that. How much moisture from the soil, from plants, including corn, is coming back out into the atmosphere.
With all of this talk about corn sweat, it may not actually have as much of an impact on humidity levels as some are saying. WANE 15 asks the National Weather Service how different dew points would be if northern Indiana had no corn.
It might only be a couple of a degree difference, because when we do have these hot, humid air masses, we'll see those dew points rise into the low 70s. But it's not until the corn crop gets really mature late in the season that we'll then start to see those dew points creep into the upper 70s.
That is oppressive. The higher the dew point, the more moisture the atmosphere can hold. When it's hot like today, more moisture makes it feel hotter outside. At 6, hear from a Purdue agriculture educator on why he says corn sweat is nothing more than buzzwords. Reporting in Allen County, Marcus Truccio, WANE 15 News.
A woman is in custody after stabbing a man at Fryman Square yesterday. According to court documents, 20-year-old Josie Boda said she knowingly or intentionally stabbed the man in the back as he was fighting her boyfriend. Boda is now charged with battery by means of a deadly weapon, a level 5 felony. Officers at the scene found a man with a stab wound in his back. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A woman died earlier this morning after her car collided with a semi-trailer on Allen County's west side. That crash happened around 3 in the westbound lanes of US 30 near West County Line Road. According to the Sheriff's Department, the semi was stopped at a traffic light when the car rear-ended the trailer. The woman was pronounced dead at the scene. The coroner's office will release her identity. A man is in life-threatening condition after falling under a moving CityLink bus. That happened around 10:30 this morning on Illinois Road near Hillegas Road. Officers at the scene say that a man stepped off the bus. As the bus pulled away, the man tripped on the curb and fell under the back wheels. He suffered traumatic injuries. Police were interviewing witnesses. Let's continue our Live in Your Hometown special coverage and send it back to Alyssa, who is live in Berne tonight.
Yeah, Berne is a small town here in northeast Indiana with a population of around 4,200 people. So how did it become so integrated with Swiss heritage? Well, it all started back in 1852 when Swiss Mennonite families settled the area and started clearing the land for farming. Well, they made a deal with the railroad to donate some land in exchange for a depot in their small community, and it worked. On Christmas Day, 1871, the trains arrived, bringing a lot more Swiss, German, English-speaking settlers over the years. Today, you still feel that Swiss influence with the architecture and, of course, the iconic clock tower. That's a replica of the one in Berne, Switzerland. And in 2011, Bloomberg Businessweek actually named Berne the second best community in Indiana to live and raise a family. Now, Berne's Mayor Greg Sprunger is with us now. So, Mayor, how would you describe Berne to somebody who maybe has never been here before?
It's a small city that is, if you want to get away from the fast pace, you can come and live here and be a little slower paced. We got a beautiful clock tower and a plaza where we have concerts in the summer and people hang out, and it's just a nice little city to live in and raise a family.
Just quaint and charming. What's new and exciting on the mayor's desk right now?
Well, 2 weeks ago, we dedicated a trail that connects Berne with Geneva. It's about a 3-mile trail, and that started back in 2005, and it took 20 years basically to get that completed, but we just dedicated that. Ball State just contacted me 3 weeks ago. They have a documentary series called Now Entering, and so they're going to do one that says Now Entering Berne, and we're the 24th city that they've done, so we're looking forward to that. We have a Chris Kindle market that we just started last year in December, so it's new and it has growing pains, but we're going to do it again this year, and it was a great thing to start, and we'll just keep improving on it.
Yeah, that's exciting.
We have plans to extend the Clock Tower Plaza, make it bigger to support the Chris Kindle market, but then also make it a play area with a pavilion and kids equipment to play on all year long.
That's great. So we're down here with Swiss Days. You've got your Swiss Days jacket on. What does this tradition mean to Berne?
Well, like you said, it was settled back in 1852. One of my long ancestors was in that group that came over, and so it's just neat to have the clock tower, which emulates the one in Berne, Switzerland. This was built in 2010, and it's just kind of our icon now. But it's neat to be associated, I guess, with Switzerland.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Mayor, thank you so much for joining us. It's a hot one out here at Swiss Days, but everyone staying safe, stay hydrated,
right.
and we'll deal with the heat, right?
Well, welcome to Berne, and everybody have a great time.
Perfect. Mayor Sprunger, thank you so much. And we'll have more coverage from Swiss Days coming up later in the newscast. Dirk?
Also coming up on First at 5, Connecting Neighborhoods. A historic bridge opens after almost a decade. That story in about 11 minutes. But first, checking in with Little Miss Swiss Days before the title and tiara are passed along when your number one news at 5 continues.
I've been coming to Berne since I was 10 years old. Been to Swiss Days many a times. I clean windows in Berne. It's very hometown. Very relaxed. It's got a lot of charm. Lots of shops. Faith and Life bookstore is one of my favorites. There's a lot to do in Berne, Indiana.
You're watching WANE 15's First at 5, live in your hometown.
Welcome back to Berne, live in your hometown. We're about an hour south of Fort Wayne in Adams County, and Swiss Days is getting underway. It's been a tradition here since 1972. Now, it is a 15 Fury alert day, so everyone is staying hydrated, staying in the air conditioning when they can. My photographer and I are doing just that. But coming up tonight is the Little Miss Swiss Days competition, and we are here with the reigning Little Miss Swiss Days, Chloe Huff. You won last year. So tell us, what has it been like being Little Miss Swiss Days for the last year?
Really cool. You get to do a lot of stuff, and it's really fun.
What's been your favorite memory of it?
Probably being in the Swiss Days parade in a red fancy car.
Ooh, a fancy car. Do you have a wave then that you have to do in the parade? Can you show us the wave? Okay, that's good. I like it. What advice do you have for the girls who are competing tonight to be next year's Little Miss Swiss?
Walk up there, smile, and have confidence.
I love it. I love it. So other than being in the parade, what duties did you have to do?
I forget, but we did. Oh, I was Cindy Lou Who with the Grinch up here for Christmas.
That's pretty fun. So I think you should wear your crown all year long, all the time. Do you just like sleep in it?
No, it's uncomfortable and it's itchy sometimes.
The price of being the princess, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Chloe, thank you for your time. Thanks for being Little Miss Swiss Days. Are you a little sad that your reign is over?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll pass on the crown tonight to a next year's winner.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Chloe, for joining us.
Yep, thank you.
All right. We'll send it back to you, Nicholas, as we are trying to stay cool out here at Swiss Days.
Yeah, and you ladies do look like you are staying cool despite it being in the 90s out there. 95 the high today, but no record. The record 104. I've got a very humid forecast and a forecast that remains on the warm side coming right up.
Berne is like stepping back in time. It is a small, quaint community. I tell people that a traffic jam in Berne is an Amish buggy making a left turn into the community market. You know, we're from Houston, so where the traffic is crazy, but here, everything slows down. And it's just a great place for people to come and gather and be with their families. It's a great place, we say, to live, work, and play.
You're watching Wayne 15's First at 5, live in your hometown.
Welcome back to our special show live in Berne tonight for Swiss Days. It is a 15 Fury Alert Day. That is why we did not bring our entire newscast and crew down here to keep everybody safe. And my photographer and I, we are staying extra hydrated. We have our cooling cloths. He just put one under his hat, actually, to stay nice and cool. So we are taking precautions out here to stay safe in the heat. We'll have more coverage from Berne coming up later. Dirk?
Yeah, here I am wearing a suit jacket as we're, of course, in the air conditioning here. Let's bring some of the rest of today's news. The historic Mechanic Street Bridge in Fort Wayne is back open. After years of disrepair, Fort Wayne Parks officials cut the ribbon today at Sweeney Park. The restoration cost over $1.2 million. The bridge was built back in 1898 and has been closed nearly 10 years.
To get it back to this original look to it is phenomenal. The team did a great job making sure that we stuck to historicness of the actual structure, but then also bringing it back to that luster and the aesthetics that it brings back to the park and the neighborhood. We're excited and astounded about it.
People in the Nebraska, Hamilton, and West Central neighborhoods will now have access to the east side of the park. The Indiana Sheriff's Association has picked their Sheriff of the Year. The group nominated Adams County Sheriff Dan Maywar. Maywar was a state trooper for 25 years. He worked his entire adult career in Adams County with the goal of becoming sheriff. And Sheriff Maywar says his goal is to leave the office in better shape than when he was elected.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Chief Meteorologist Nicholas Barreri's live Doppler 15 Fury forecast.
Our 15 Fury Alert Day for the intense heat and humidity continues through the evening here, and it's feeling like the triple digits now in most spots around northeast Indiana and northwest Ohio. So continue to avoid those long stretches of time outdoors. If you do have to go out, make sure you're taking those breaks, getting inside when you can, and drinking plenty of water. The muggy meter rose to oppressive today. We've been highlighting this potential all week long, and we've also been talking about what comes next. A continuation of the very high humidity. The muggy meter unchanged over the next 5 days, even though the intense heat gets dialed back a little bit. Here's Storm Tracker. The orange you see highlighted on the map, all the locations with a heat advisory today. Scattered rain and thunderstorms moving closer and closer to us. This is the next thing we're watching tonight. Some severe weather is possible in our area, especially north and northwest of Fort Wayne later tonight. We're seeing some severe thunderstorm warnings around the Lake Michigan shore here. That's what these orange squares represent. For us tonight, should we get the strongest storms to pan out, the greatest risk would be for places like Warsaw, Kendallville, LaGrange, and Angola. Pockets of very heavy rainfall and some strong gusty winds. Those are our main threats, with the storm chance then heading to the east, but the storm's weakening. 93 right now in Fort Wayne, feeling like 103. Winds blowing in breezily from the south-southwest at 15 miles per hour. Feels like 105 in Angola, feels like 102 in Defiance, or feels like temperature in Columbia City coming back at 114. Look at what happens tomorrow with our feels like numbers. It's warm and uncomfortable in the morning, feeling like the mid to upper 70s, maybe even around 80 in southern spots. At lunchtime, feeling like the mid 80s and upper 80s down to the south. During the peak heat of the afternoon, even though our high temperatures will end up close to 90, we're going to be feeling like we're well into the 90s. Feels like temperatures tomorrow afternoon in the mid 90s. So our Dry Dock Marine Center lake forecast shows a day with temperatures in the morning in the 70s, rising to the 80s in the afternoon. 75 at 9 in the morning, 1 o'clock 81, 5 o'clock 85. Some periods of scattered rain and thunderstorms possible, but not raining every moment, just like what we're seeing here tonight. There's the scattered rain and thunderstorm chance up to the north as we head into late evening. Overnight, additional periods of rain and thunderstorms track in. For your morning drive tomorrow, you may encounter some heavy rain all across the area. Then on and off periods of rain and thunderstorms throughout the day. A little bit of a lull at lunchtime, temperatures near 80. High temperatures tomorrow afternoon, there they are in the mid 80s, with some additional periods of rain and thunderstorms still set to track in. And then over the weekend, we continue this pattern of on and off rain showers and thunderstorms, although no day a complete washout. Take a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast here. You can see what's in store. Tomorrow, our high temperature 85, Saturday 89, Sunday 88. Next week, 90s, Monday 92, Tuesday 91. We may eventually issue more 15 Fury Alert days for that early week period. Wednesday 83, cooler at the end of the week. Thursday 78, Friday 79. Then the following weekend, high temperatures around 80 both days. That's your latest forecast.
Tonight on WANE 15's News at 6, 15 finds out with an update. The latest on the 83-year-old left for weeks without phone service. That story new tonight on your #1 News at 6.
The people here are so inviting. I have the best downtown neighbors I could ask for, and the community is so supportive. I make 45 different handmade retail items: cakes, cheesecakes, eclair, cookies, fudges, chocolates, freeze-dry candy, and cotton candy. We have a full ice cream menu also. I'm just very blessed and grateful to be here in Berne.
So here's a quick look at what's ahead the next 2 days here at Swiss Days in Berne from 10 to 4 both days. You can see live demonstrations of life in the 1800s at the Swiss Heritage Village. At the village tomorrow, there's a tractor pull for kids at noon, horse pull at 6. Live music and dancing all day at the main stage. On Saturday, National Guard Stein Toss at 2 p.m., Swiss Days Parade at 4:30, brat eating contest at 6. Of course, that's just some of all of the fun. There's vendors downtown open all day, both days as well. Dirk and Nicholas?
Can you even get cool in the shade? Not much.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's something, and we'll take every bit we can get. We are watching a scattered rain and thunderstorm chance. Right now, those storms just coming into southwestern Michigan and northwestern Indiana. Could be a few strong gusty thunderstorms, especially north and northwest of Florida.
He'll be tracking it as needed. We'll see you at 6.